Most people think that an A-player VA is just someone who communicates well and gets tasks done without needing a lot of direction. But after hiring over 100 VAs within my own companies and placing over 1,000 more for business owners across dozens of industries, I ended up learning something very important. Most of the VAs that people hire are not A-players, and the difference in performance is day and night. And it's not a small gap. An A-player removes problems. An average VA adds friction. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 things that actually separate the A-player VAs from all the other ones, so you know exactly who to hire and how to avoid all the mistakes that founders usually make. So the first thing you're going to notice when you have an actual A player is that they take ownership of whatever it is that their role is, not just orders. So most VAs are going to sit around, they're going to wait for you to give them stuff to do. But an A player understands how they fit into your business in the big picture. They understand their role within the company and how they specifically drive revenue. And through that understanding, they understand the outcome that they are working to achieve. The B and C players that are sitting back, they're waiting for work to be given to them. They don't understand how your business works. They don't understand how they fit into it. They have no idea how what they're doing helps you make money. That right there, that one little tiny mindset shift really separates the A players from everyone else. Because when they actually understand that, they can go and proactively figure out what needs to be done. When they run into problems or different obstacles, they can figure out how to get around them without coming to you for help. And that's because when they understand their role within your company and the outcome that they're looking to achieve, they have their own compass. They're not reliant on you. They can go and set their own goals, run into problems, solve those problems, and then come to you saying, hey, I have this problem. I found these solutions. I implemented these solutions. Now I'm just letting you know what happened. As opposed to the B and C players who go, hey, boss, I got a problem. What do I do? You don't want to work with those people at scale. They're going to slow you down so much. Fire them, get rid of them, get the A players, make life easier. Okay, next up, the A players are going to be thinking in systems, not just tasks. The B and C players come in, they're like,
hey, I gotta edit these videos. This is my task list for the day. I gotta get all stuff done. I'm gonna check it out.
The A players will come into your business and say, okay, so here's how I fit into the business. Here's my mission. Here's really my end outcome that I'm looking to achieve. How can I go and start working on building some systems to get more work done at a scalable level? And how can I even help incorporate other parts of the team in this? Or how can I hire other people? They're really helping to build the systems within your business, not just like check off tasks like the video editor example. They document their work. They film training videos for other people that are following in their footsteps. They're mapping out SOPs. They're opening up bottlenecks. They're essentially mapping out all the workflows that they're involved with from A to Z. This is especially useful for you because not only are they going to be way more productive, and not only are they going to be a more proactive individual, but they're actually helping to build your company for you. They're outlining how everything in your business works without you having to ask for it, without you having to do all the work documenting it yourself. And then they're finding solutions to proactively improve everything that's going on. Now think about if you had 5 to 10 of those people in your company versus the team that you're working with right now. I'm sure you can see the difference already. Okay, number 3, the A players are going to reduce work, not add management. The last thing we want in our very busy days as founders, as we're hustling and we're grinding and we're trying to build our companies, is more people to manage. An average level VA is going to go work on stuff and then they're going to come back with questions and problems and follow-ups, and it's just going to create all this management for you, and then it's essentially adding work to your plate as if you don't have enough work to do already. But the A players, that's who you want. These people are going to remove work from your plate because, again, going back to the concept I said earlier, they're going to go and set their own goals. They're going to find problems. They're going to find solutions to those problems. They're going to implement those solutions. And then they come to you and they're like, boss, here's what happened. I already took care of it. Don't worry about it. That right there is a night and day difference. The person who comes to you with problems where you have to sit down and ask them all these questions and follow up with this and make sure they get that done. And then they didn't do that. You got to check on that. You just have this whole like shit show of work that you're doing with this person. And it's just like, you got to treat them like a little baby. We need to go and find proper adults is really what we need. We need professional adults who are good at adulting and can own whatever it is that they're doing and they're accountable. Okay, number 4 is that the A players are going to adapt quickly without any kind of emotional baggage or drag. So me right now, I'm in the middle of scaling my 3rd business, and I'm sure you can relate to this, but when you're really getting going and you're growing really quickly, things are breaking all the time. As you get bigger, there's new problems. You've got new levels to hit. You've got to overcome new challenges. And it's like, unless you have a team that's very adaptable and willing to move quickly, you're not going to have a good time. If you hire people who just want to come in and like do the bare minimum and they just want to be told what to do and they just want to coast and take it easy, which, let's be real, that is a lot of people. And oftentimes for me, since I'm not like that, I'm literally the polar opposite, as I'm sure you are if you're watching this video, it's very difficult for us to relate to those people. And even sometimes I forget that they exist. But if you have those types of people in your company, it's not going to be good. What you really want in an A player is you want someone who can adjust quickly. They run into an issue or the business needs to change and they can pivot, and it's not going to be a burden to them. They're not going to be complaining or whining or, like I said, be an emotional drag. They don't get overwhelmed by all these new changes. They embrace change. They get excited by that. They're basically working hand in hand with you as a founder. They understand that any business involves constant and never-ending improvement. You'll never be done. You'll always keep improving all the processes that you're doing. And they embrace that. That aligns with their personality. That's what they want to be working on. The B and C players, they don't want that. They want to just do it once at like the bare minimum standard, and they don't ever want to return to it because it requires them to engage their brain, and the B and C players hate engaging their brains. Okay, last but certainly not least, number 5 is that the A players communicate like operators, not just an assistant. Your average VAs wait for direction. Your A players drive communication proactively. They keep you updated with clear signals. They push their thinking and communication and stream of consciousness and everything that they're doing proactively to you without you even having to ask. They don't over-communicate or under-communicate. They understand the fine line and the right balance so that when you have meetings with them, you're very efficient, succinct, and you get everything done, but they communicate enough to make sure that nothing is missed. They also know what you need to get done or what you need to know without you even needing to know. When you find the right operator and they're in your business, hip to hip with you, and they're in sync, and you've got someone with the right mindset, it's almost like they can read your mind and anticipate your needs. When you have a B or C player, this person not only doesn't know what your needs are, but they don't give a shit about your needs. They're only focused on themselves and what they want. That is the polar opposite of who you want to hire. And that's why hiring A players is not optional anymore. It's one of the biggest leverage points in your business that I guarantee you're not focusing on enough or you don't have dialed in. But don't worry, because that's exactly what we do, and we're here to help. We've already vetted thousands of candidates globally, and we place only the top % of those with founders that are looking for extra support, not management. So if you want to see what an A player could look like inside your business, just click that link below to book a call. We'll walk you through it and match you with the right person.